Hello out there, sports fans. Welcome to our podcast today. Champions are built. This is Coach EJ, the brand.
This is Coach Aaron, the source. Got a nice topic today, EJ. I'm not sure how long we'll talk on it, and I know it kind of covers a few different things, but we're calling this one, guys, the new collegiate free agency. And maybe how do you develop your strategy for working with the environment that, is now collegiate athletics? And basically what we're talking about is recruiting, the transfer portal. How do you can you maybe make that work to your advantage? And what things do you need to be thinking about when you're setting up your collegiate career? And really, I think what we're going to focus on is maybe having a multi-school plan.
Hmm.
And EJ, do you want to explain that, or you want me to kind of, but
Well, I think we both would chime in here. Since it is free agency right now in Major League Baseball and stuff, it's so fitting. And I call it the collegiate free agency plan, and really what you're setting out and what's your goal. A lot of these guys have aspirations. They are to play in the Power Four. And maybe their route is I go to D3 first, and then I jump to the power four, or I go to junior college. Just so many strategies here, but it's something that I think is a good topic for us to talk about, because it seems like you and I have been talking to athletes in the past 6 to 8 months
Mhm.
about their free agency collegiate plan, it seems like. So yeah, let's wrap on that today, man. I think this is a good solid subject.
So in essence, what I've come to conclude is that there's no permanent home for anyone.
Right.
And if you go back to one of our previous podcasts where we talk about, why are kids going in transfer portal and that sort of thing, we covered down a few different podcasts. You know, my thing is maybe you develop, a strategy, and we've talked about this, where that first offer out of high school might be a D3, an NAIA, a
Mhm.
junior college, whatever the case may be. Maybe you take that offer and maybe you go to that school and get a year, 2 years of seasoning, maybe 3 years, and depending on how long you're going to be at school. And then when you've got that seasoning and you're a better athlete, you're a much more mature athlete, and you've got more value, then you go back out into the marketplace. And then you level up. You get that what do you call it? You get that upgrade girlfriend. Don't take offense,
Oh.
women. but but you know what I'm saying? Uh,
Oh man, loud and clear.
where you now you're in a better position, you've got more assets, you're a better, commodity,
Right.
and you say, hey, now is my time to go to a Power Four, or, a bigger program. And
Right.
then you spend the rest of your collegiate career there, because it's a tough road to hoe to try and go straight from high school into those schools. You have to be an exceptional athlete, and you have to be realistic with where you're at. And obviously you want to align your schools with, your educational
Right.
goals, and have that together. But I find myself telling kids, yeah, it's great to be able to go to SC right out the bat, but you got to figure out what's going to be your standing when you get there. Can you handle that? And maybe it's better that you go to a smaller school,
Right.
year or two, get seasoned, get bigger, get stronger, learn the game, and now put yourself back out on the market.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of these smaller schools are also understanding that that's happening. They're
Right.
understanding that they're going to get cannibalized a little bit or pilfered by some of these bigger schools when they get an athlete up to speed. But if that athlete has serviced their program for 2 years, they're still getting a pretty good value. So, I don't think that you have to resign yourself to that. Okay, I'm only going to go to a small school and that's kind of going to be my career. So I don't want to play anymore. Or I don't really want to do that. And I want to go to big school and then I'm going to sit for a couple of years or maybe not even play. And then my career goes that way.
Right.
I don't think it's not a bad thing to, like I said, go someplace where they want you, where you're going to have an opportunity.
Right.
If you're lucky enough to get some assistance, get some assistance, see where you're at after a year, see where you're at after 2 years, and then figure out, hey, do I want to stay here and finish my collegiate career? Or, you know what? Do I want to move up to a bigger program? Doesn't mean it's better, but just a bigger program.
I got something for you, Aaron. That's pretty interesting. I was talking to a coach, collegiate coach, and they said, "Hey, we have this guy really wants to be a D1 guy, and we really wanted him, and he was kind of hesitant. And this is a Division III school. He
Mhm.
says really hesitant. And I heard this from a Division II coach too, by the way.
Mhm.
But he said, "Oh yeah, we'll help you do that. Why don't you come here the first 2 years, play for us, and we'll assist you in doing that."
I
And
was,
the coach is smart. Coach is like, I got this guy now.
yep,
He's not like closing the door on our program, this Division III or Division II program, but if you
right.
come there first and get work done. And I think that coach in the back of their mind, that Division II or three coach is saying, man, he gets here, he sees what's going on.
Right.
Maybe he's unreal in his dreams, and he
Hmm.
stays here.
Hmm.
And that may be the best bet also. So
Yeah.
there's always a plan. I mean, I think these coaches are, they have this creativity in their head since the NCAA has ruled this way that they're going to take every advantage and use it to get that player. I mean,
Right.
why not say, hey, listen, okay, we're going to help you do that for 2 years. Why don't you come here, do that, and we'll help you. I haven't seen it in at the Division I level where the guy goes, yeah, come here for a couple years, and you want to go Power 4? That's fine. Why don't you come here and do this here? I
Right.
mean, I've seen it at every level now, and there is just, hey, it's the wild, wild west out there, Aaron,
Well,
regarding the subject.
yeah, I mean, again, back in the day, it wasn't uncommon for certain JCs to have relationships with certain D1 programs and almost be a feeder to them. So
Yeah,
I don't see why that that same relationship can't happen with, again, some of the lower tier schools in the higher tier schools, saying, hey, you know what? Go play at, this school for a year or two, and that may improve your chances to come play for us. And
right.
maybe they have a relationship with that, those two coaches have a relationship where they're willing to share athletes. So that doesn't seem out of the realm of impossibility to me.
It's still
Not in today's
happening.
market.
Right. That's happening. The
Yeah,
guy's
they
going
may.
to a program and then all of a sudden he goes, he's not going to make it here. Whether it's D1, D2, it doesn't matter. And he's not going to make it here. Why don't you go to junior college for a year, then come back because he needs to play? The kid's not going to play there. Why not just send him back? Hey, listen,
Yeah,
get your GEs done and then come back here in a year or two. And I think you'll
exactly.
be really good,
Exactly. Especially if they want to hold on to a kid. They may
Right.
say, hey, go play at this school that we have a relationship with, that we can keep tabs on you on, and we know the coach, and then let's have another conversation in a year. It makes complete sense to me.
And I mean, that's a plan. I mean, period. That's a plan. And if players, student athletes are looking at the new collegiate free agency plan, it's part of their strategy in recruiting now. Why wouldn't it be? Because if you're thinking that recruiting is the same way it was 10 years ago, I'm sorry, it's not. It's not even the same 5 years ago. So it's like if you have this plan and this is where you want to be, then why not map it out? and understand what's really happening in this environment. Because I think a lot of athletes are just, I said this before on one of our podcasts, reality, being realistic, understanding who you are as a person, as an athlete, having a really honest conversation about what your strengths and weaknesses are. That needs to happen. That's not happening enough in our environment now. Everybody's afraid to tell the person, hey, listen, this is where you're strong at, this is where you're weak at. Why don't we start working on these things and move forward? And here's your plan. Now it's going to take you 2 years to get to this point. Why don't we spend, this time to do that? No one wants to do that anymore, but we're afraid to hurt people's feelings about this stuff. But life's not like that. Life is hard. Period. Life is hard and it's reality. And I think once we start getting realistic with these people, then they'll start understanding how hard and how difficult it is, but how much work you have to put in. And this, I think having a plan like this, Aaron, this is how it is these days. You have athletes thinking, hey, here's my plan to play at the next level.
Right.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. No, give yourself some options. Collegiate nowadays isn't just a kind of a straight line. And if you think about plan A, plan B, if I choose this, then I have these options and this option. Think of that as your plan. Don't think of it as just, okay, I want to get recruited by UCLA. And if they don't recruit me, I'm not going to have a collegiate career. Be
Right.
flexible, and continue to look at some of the changes that are probably going to continue to happen in collegiate sports, and some of them you may be able to use to your advantage. So do a yearly a yearly check where you're just saying, okay, where am I at? What are my options? What do I want to do? Is what's available to me.
Right.
And that way you can take advantage of any opportunities that come along, or know that, hey, this is where I want to settle and this is how I need to optimize my time at this institution. But I'm just saying, what we're just saying is, hey, a lot of different ways to get there now. Think about them, figure out what's the best path for you, have a plan, have an alternate plan, and then, go out and work your plan.
Right. Well, there's a new acronym now, NCFA, New Collegiate Free Agency. With that said, Aaron, I think we're going to wrap up this podcast today. But this is Champions Are Built. This is Coach EJ, the brand.
And this is Coach Aaron, the source. We'll see you.